McCready appeared on the VH1 show Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, seeking treatment for her addiction. Dr. Drew is joining us now. Dr. Drew, thanks very much. You reached out to Mindy McCready only a few weeks ago after her boyfriend's death. So what was that conversation like? How was she doing at that point?
She was shattered at that point. She had been doing well. She regained custody of her children. She had a stable relationship. Things were improving. He died. At that point, things completely unraveled for her. The second hit is when she lost custody of the children, and on the heels of that, almost immediately, the suicidal gesture. The real tragedy in all of this, though, is when I spoke to her, she had profound fear of how people were going to judge and stigmatize her if she took care of herself and went to a hospital, which was very clear to me she needed. She ultimately agreed to do it, and she did, but left after only 24 hours. And my suspicion is she did so because of the fear of the stigma. And by the way, a lot of my conversation with her was about how to keep it confidential, that she was entitled to confidential care, particularly in a mental health facility. And lo and behold, the press got out with it and attacked her. She left. She's dead because of it.
This is a woman, as you know, who for years had been facing an enormous amount of challenges and struggles, addiction, mental illness, all just adding up, Dr. Drew.
Yes, absolutely. I hope people will learn something from this. I know Mindy was a lovely woman, and she would want this message to get out, that these things are serious. They carry the same prognosis as many other medical conditions, and it's time we begin treating diseases above the neck the same as we treat diseases below the neck. That is to say, brain diseases that cause behavioral problems and addiction and depression are medical problems that have a medical treatment, and if they go unattended, they can be fatal.
For people who might be facing a similar situation, might be struggling but are afraid of the stigma attached to mental illness, what do you want to say to them?
What I want to say, Wolf, is please don't let you be don't be another statistic because of people's backwards attitudes about your condition. And for those who love and are around those individuals struggling with this, don't do this alone. Don't try to help that person on your own. If somebody has an imminent thought of hurting themselves, that is a medical emergency as serious as if they had chest pain or shortness of breath or became unconscious. Enlist the help of an emergency room, a mental or medical health professional, or law enforcement if you need to. Do not go alone. And in more chronic situations, and this is really, Wolf, what we've been seeing over and over again in these stories like Newtown in Arizona with a kid that killed his parents. 90% of the stories I report on are people with serious ongoing mental health issues that go unaddressed or who don't want to address it. Remember, if a doctor tells you should get a conservatorship over a child or an adult child with mental illness, do it, because the consequences of not doing so